Our top story tonight, neighbors near Daffin Park in Savannah are pushing back against a city plan to install high-power stadium lights in the park, saying it could change the character of the green space they've long enjoyed. WSAV's Isabella Baez spoke with residents who are now taking their concerns straight to city leaders.
Stadium lights could soon pop up here at this large public green space at Daffin Park, right across the street from a dozen homes, and residents are speaking out against the project.
A slight majority said they would be in favor of suitable park lighting, but it doesn't make sense in terms of the money spent or the end product to have stadium lights in what is clearly an open park.
This project started 3 years ago when Savannah City Council approved the installation of ball field stadium lights at Daffin Park. Their reasoning was that it would provide more opportunities for youth and adult sport teams to practice and hold games during the evening.
Residents already have to contend with the field here and the bananas, and this is going to, create yet another thing that residents are working with.
Nadia Pigeon is a neighbor to Daffin Park and started a petition advocating for City Council to pause and reconsider the lighting proposal, saying the high voltage lighting is unnecessary for this public area.
The petition is threefold. First, it is to provide access to the community to our already lit fields that are currently monetized and fenced. We've asked that they look into the contract with Musco Lighting. Our last and final ask is that the city follow its own rules and regulations, and that is in terms of environmental impact studies, following the city codes.
Pigeon and Gretchen Helmers, another neighbor to Daffin Park, both say they want to see this green space preserved, not just for the ones who live close by, but for anyone who comes and visits the hostess city.
This is not a sports complex, right? This is a multi-use park, and people in Savannah, of course, care about preservation, and we are known as a city full of green spaces and parks.
Pigeon says she hopes the petition will reach 500 signatures by the end of the month. And then she says she plans to present it to City Council. Reporting in Savannah, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
New tonight, a traffic stop in Savannah led to a much larger drug and gun investigation, ending with one arrest and the recovery of multiple firearms and ammunition. Savannah police say it started Monday evening when the Violent Crimes Task Force stopped a vehicle near Montgomery and Pearl Streets. Officers say 23-year-old Zaki Coley was already on probation for intent to distribute. During the stop, police say they found more than 46 grams of marijuana, which led to a search warrant at a home in the 1800 block of Upson Street. Inside, investigators say they recovered additional marijuana along with gun parts, magazines, and ammunition. Police say the investigation is still active and more charges could follow. We now have an update on a shooting in Chatham County this afternoon. Chatham County police say it happened around 2 p.m. near Berwick Lakes Boulevard and Quaco Road. Authorities confirm no one was injured. Police say at one point a suspect was contained inside a nearby residence while officers secured the area. Quaco Road was temporarily shut down in both directions while officers blocked traffic and investigated. Earlier, scanner traffic suggested additional suspect information and possible SWAT involvement, but police have not confirmed those details. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation investigating complete that investigation into a deadly officer-involved shooting on Savannah's Riverwalk earlier this year. The case file has now been turned over to Chatham County District Attorney Shalina Jones for review. That shooting happened January 22nd after Savannah police responded to reports of an armed man near West Congress Street and MLK Jr. Boulevard. Investigators say officers encountered 27-year-old Mark Dennis Whibby Jr. and ordered him to drop the gun. The GBI says Whibby kept walking toward the riverfront area as officers tried to de-escalate the situation, including using a taser. Authorities say surveillance video showed Whibby pacing with a gun in his hand before he moved toward officers and civilians and reached for something in his waistband. 5 Savannah police officers fired their weapons, killing Whibby at the scene. We are waiting to hear back from the Chatham County DA's office about what happens next in this case. We'll keep you updated as we learn more. A former Beaufort County educator facing serious charges after investigators say she had inappropriate communication with a child. 47-year-old Kaylin Wolf is charged with criminal solicitation of a minor, procuring or promoting obscenity. Now, authorities say she's the alleged incident happened in March. Wolf previously taught at May River Montessori School in Bluffton, though school officials there say her contract ended last year. She also worked as a substitute teacher for the Beaufort County School District from 2008 to 2016. It is not clear whether the alleged victim was a current or former student. New tonight, a Jessup Police Department is investigating a shooting that happened Sunday evening at a city park, leaving 3 young people hospitalized. Police say that shooting happened around 8:20 Sunday night at MLK Park near the intersection of Walker and Hickory Streets next to Jessup New Life Church. Investigators say the victims have been identified as 18-year-old Carlos Mackey, 19-year-old Jediah Brantley, and 19-year-old Zachariah Merritt. 2 of the victims are listed in critical condition, while 1 is reported to be in stable condition. At the request of Jessup Police Chief Hamilton, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation has now taken over as the lead agency in this case. No arrests have been announced. Following up now, a judge has temporarily blocked the City of Savannah from enforcing its horse-drawn carriage heat ordinance. The decision comes after 3 carriage tour companies filed a lawsuit claiming the city's rules conflict with a new state law signed by Governor Brian Kemp. WSAV's Sarah Smith breaks down the legal battle.
The lawsuit was filed on May 18th and claims the City of Savannah has no right to enforce temperature restrictions for horses, citing a new state law. One lawyer I spoke with today says he's surprised the ordinance was ever written.
The way it was written, it was destined to fail.
The horse-drawn carriage ordinance was controversial from the very beginning, and now Act 379, newly signed into law by Governor Brian Kemp in April, conflicts with the ordinance. This, according to a lawsuit filed by 3 Savannah carriage tour companies. It bars governments from regulating livestock and livestock owners on a public road.
The City of Savannah couldn't enact a local ordinance that conflicts with that state statute. If it does, then the local ordinance is void and unenforceable.
Attorney Michael Schiavone says the plaintiffs are most likely in the right. This as the court ruled a temporary restraining order that keeps the city from enforcing temperature regulations until the next court hearing.
The business can go on as usual up until that hearing. And then after they have hearing and they present evidence to the court, more than likely, I think the court's going to rule in favor of the carriage companies.
Those business owners claim these restrictions could force them to shut down in the hotter months, while animal rights advocates argue the horses should be off the street during extremely high temperatures.
People take really a strong position when it comes to the treatment of animals, and understandably. It would make sense for the lawyer representing the carriage company as well as the city attorneys to see if they could reach some type of compromise and maybe agree to some type of statute, or rather some type of local ordinance that accommodates everyone.
Horse-drawn carriages will remain a City of Savannah staple for now, and this restraining order will remain in place until a hearing on June 5th. In Savannah, I'm Sarah Smith, WSAV News 3, on your side.
A new round of genetic testing shows many Savannah area restaurants are still serving imported shrimp while claiming it's local or wild caught. The findings come more than a year after a similar investigation sparked concerns about seafood mislabeling across the coastal Georgia area. Well, the retesting was conducted by CD Consulting earlier this month and found only 9 of the 22 tested shrimp dishes being advertised as locally caught contained American wild-caught shrimp. The other 13 dishes tested as imported or farm-raised shrimp. Now, according to the report, 12 of those 13 dishes were misrepresented through menu claims or verbal assurances that the shrimp were local or wild-caught. Industry leaders say the results show that Georgia's new shrimp labeling law needs stronger enforcement. That law passed this year through House Bill 117. It requires restaurants to disclose when they are serving imported shrimp. The report also found some restaurants improved since the last round of testing, while others that previously served American wild-caught shrimp were now found serving imported product. Restaurants identified as serving American wild-caught shrimp included Boar's Head Grill and Tavern, the Old Pink House, and Sea Wolf on Tybee Island. The report does not name which restaurants were found not to be in compliance.